Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Or if it's your first time here, thanks for clicking on my video and checking this out. I appreciate it more than you know. This is actually going to be a really quick video. I am going to show you how I do my makeup during the summertime. I know I did a video before about how I do my makeup during the summer if I want coverage, which doesn't happen that often unless I'm like going out to dinner or going to a friend's or anything like that. But typically during the summer, if I'm gonna put makeup on, this is the routine that I use. It's really, really fast, it's really quick and simple, and there is no foundation involved. So this is a no foundation summertime makeup look, and without further ado, we're just gonna get right into it. Okay, so my skin is cleaned and moisturized and all of that stuff. It's kind of important stuff, you know, daily washing up in the morning ritual things. So I'm not gonna put like a primer on. I'm actually just gonna use my Morphe Prep and Set makeup setting spray because I will be putting some stuff on my face. It's just not gonna be foundation, but I wanna have a prepped face for that. So I'm just gonna go ahead and give this spray over my face. Nothing beats that spray. If you guys have not picked this up, I highly suggest that you do because the spray on this is amazing and it just feels so good on the skin. Okay, I'm gonna let that dry for a second and then we'll jump right into everything else. Okay, so the first thing that I'm gonna do is go in with some concealer. Now, when you're doing a look like this, it doesn't have to be this exact one, but if you're doing a look that has no foundation, and I'm pretty sure I've said this before, but I'm gonna repeat myself. You wanna make sure that you're using a concealer that's as close to your skin color as possible so that you don't have this ridiculous contrast of a really bright under eye and nothing else on your face. So just try to get it as close as you can. I'm gonna be using the Bare Minerals Bareskin Complete Coverage Serum Concealer in the shade Medium. It's pretty close to my skin tone, so it'll work pretty well. And I really like this for summertime because it's just so light, but it does offer a good amount of coverage. So I'm just gonna go in and do what I would normally do. And just kinda put that there. I'm also gonna take the concealer up onto the eyelid as like my primer. Just because this is really kind of a no muss, no fuss makeup look, so I don't want to have to use 10 million products. And you can see the difference between this eye and this eye. This eye doesn't have a crazy amount of coverage, but it is helping to, you know, conceal out some of the under eye. I'm gonna put a tiny bit more under this eye, just right where I'm darkest, which is this little crevice right in here, this little cavern, if you will. Oh, hereditary under eye circles. You piss me off. I've learned to deal with them. They are what they are, you know. What I love about this concealer is it's just so, it's very, because it's a serum, it's very moisturizing, so it just looks really nice under the eye. And it doesn't, you know, crease or anything on me, which is great. I'm gonna go do the other eye and then we'll be right back. Okay, so both eyes are done now. I did also take a little bit of the concealer that was left over on the sponge, and I did a little bit of concealing here because I tend to get a little red there, and a tiny bit right in the little nose crevices where I also get a tiny bit red. But again, it was just whatever was left on the Beauty Blender, I just kind of went in to try to even out the redness. The next thing that I am going to do is my brows. You've seen me use this before. This is the Glossier Boy Brow, and I think it's just in brown. Yep. So, I mean, you can't get any easier than this brow product. I've said that before. It's just, you know, you're in a rush, but you want to do your brows, but you don't want to spend a lot of time on it, or you want to put makeup on, but you don't want to have it be like a really long affair trying to get your makeup on. This will get your brows done in, you know, a few seconds, and then you're good to go. Just gonna brush that through. And that's one eyebrow done, and obviously you can see the difference between this one and this one. I'm gonna go ahead and do this one, and then we'll come right back for the next step. Okay, so the very next thing I'm gonna do is I do have my RMS No Color Powder. I put it in a little travel size Mercier because the actual component that the RCMA No Color powder comes in is just horrendous. So I'm just gonna go in really quick, and I'm not gonna bake or anything like that. I just wanna go in and kind of make sure that the under eye is set. And I'm also gonna put a little of this on the lid as well, because I am gonna be using a little bit of eyeshadow. Not a lot, but a little bit. And obviously, if you don't have this setting powder, you can use whatever setting powder works best for you. I just happen to really love this one under the eye because it doesn't make my eye look dry at all. No. All right, so let me finish up putting powder under this, and then we'll come right back for the next step. This is gonna go really fast, so, because that's the whole point. Okay, so we are now set underneath the eyes. Whatever powder was left over on the brush, I also went and set right here, since I put a little concealer there, and right around the nose, since I also put a little concealer there. What we're gonna do now is I am going to go in with this Natasha Denona palette. This is it only has numbers, doesn't have a name. This is eyeshadow palette number 5. I am just gonna pick a shade and literally use my finger and just wash it all over the lid. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I'm actually going to use this last shade in the palette right here. So it's called Aura. Funny, then eyeshadows have names, but the palette doesn't really have a name. Now, if you've ever worked with Natasha Denona shadows before, you know that you don't really need to touch it too much to get the product on your finger or your brush, for that matter. And they just kind of do all the work themselves. There's not much that you have to do. So this is like my go-to, because I either do this or I'll use whatever highlighter I'm using on my face. I'll just put that all over my lid too. That's another easy thing to do. So okay, that's pretty good. I just wanted a nice little wash of color. And now what I'm gonna do, because I don't wanna just leave that there, is I have this Studio Makeup On The Go eyeshadow palette. This one does not have it. It's in Warm Me Up. This is what it looks like. So I'm gonna take one of these shades. I'm gonna take this warmer, almost yellow toned color here, and I'm just gonna run it right into the crease. Just so that I don't have this one shade on my lid. I have a little bit more dimension if I, put this into the crease. Plus it also will smooth out any lines from that Natasha Denona color that I put on my lid, Aura. So it gives you just a little bit of depth and dimension. Nothing crazy. We're not going nuts here today. I mean, I don't know about you, but when I'm not doing my makeup for YouTube or Instagram, or because I'm going out somewhere, this is really how I like to do my makeup. It's just quick, easy, simple, but effective, and it looks really fresh and beautiful, and I'm just a huge fan of that. So I am gonna go back in with that Natasha Denona palette. Let me find a good little brush here. Here we go. And I am gonna go into the brightest shade, which is called Moonstone, this color right here, and I'm gonna go right into the inner corner of the eye, just for a little bit of highlight. Gotta be careful with these powders, because they are powdery. So that's it for that. And you can see immediately that, you have this nice opened up bright looking eye, which I think looks so pretty. The very next thing I'm going to do is take this cloud paint from Glossier. I love this for days when this is how I'm doing my makeup. This is in the color Beam. These are amazing, and when I first got these, quick side note, I have 2 of these. When I first got them, I went, this is a really tiny tube. I thought it was gonna be like the size of their bomb.coms. I thought it was gonna be that size, and I was disappointed because it was like, I think $16 or $18 for this little dude. And I was kind of disappointed. And then you realize that this will last you forever, because literally all you need for both cheeks, I'm gonna show you how little you need. That's literally all that you need. So if you ever order this and see how small it is, don't be disappointed. The color payoff with just this for both sides is fantastic. So I use my middle finger because it has the largest pad on my fingers, and I just pick up that tiny amount. I go right onto the apple of my cheek. Don't be afraid, don't be scared. I am not a fan of liquid / cream blushes, but this blends out so sheer. Even though it looks like it's not going to, it blends out so sheer and so effortlessly. It looks so natural. It's beautiful on a day where, you know, I mean, and you could do this even if you are wearing foundation, but it's just so easy to do. And you blend it back like this, and you have this beautiful, natural looking flush to your cheeks, and it takes almost no effort. And it's just so beautiful. So if you're one of those people that, you know, you hate cream or liquid blushes, I really suggest you try this one because it's effortless, and I look like I just got back from the gym. Again, not sure that it's translating to the phone camera, but looking at myself, I look beautiful right now. I just look really, I love the way I look. So the next thing I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna go in with a tiny bit of bronzer. And I'm going to use my Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer in, it just says bronzer. There's 2 shades. I think I picked up the darker shade, I think. And I'm not going to use a lot of this because, again, I have no foundation on, so I don't want it to look weird. I'm just going to kind of go around the perimeter of my face and just kind of warm things up a tiny, tiny bit. And the reason why you want to go very light-handed with this is you have no powder down, so you're putting the powder directly on the skin. So it can look muddy and patchy very, very fast, which again is why I don't put a lot of it on. I just put a teeny tiny bit. We're almost done, I swear. This is ridiculous. Okay. I am going to curl my eyelashes, and I really like this Tarte Lifted mascara because it only comes in one color. It's like a brown, a really dark brown. But for days like this, I don't want crazy mascara. I want something a little more natural looking. So I'm gonna go ahead, curl my eyelashes, and put this on off camera, and then I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so this is what the eyelashes look curled and with 1 layer of mascara on. I don't usually put 2 coats of mascara on my eyelashes, and the only reason for that is that I'm always way too impatient to wait for the first coat to dry. And if you're doing 2 coats of mascara, you have to let the first coat completely dry, and I'm just like, I don't have time for that. I don't want to wait. So the almost very last thing that we'll be doing is highlighting. Now, my favorite highlighters. I love the way this looks on. This is the RMS Beauty Champagne Rose Luminizer, and this is what it looks like. And that's the back of it. I'm not sure if you can read Champagne Rose Luminizer. Okay, whatever. And this is what it looks like in here. Now, just so you know, these are very emollient and they do not dry down. However, that doesn't seem to affect their staying power. I will put this on in the beginning of the day and it will still be on there at the end of the day. This I use my fingers for. It feels like an oily cream when you put your finger into it. But trust me, it is worth it. It literally gives you like that wet, dewy kind of glow. Do you see this? And with makeup like this, that's really the way to go, is something that's way more natural looking. And this has a tiny bit of, because it's that champagne, it has a little bit of a pink golden shift to it. It's just unbelievable. So this is what it looks like on. It's just gorgeous. It's natural, but it is still very much there. You absolutely can see it on. It's not, I wouldn't consider this a subtle highlight. I would say this is just more of a natural highlight. It's not powder, and it just, I remember the first time I put this on, I just looked at myself in the mirror and I kept catching glimpses of myself going, oh my God. If you're on the fence about it, I suggest trying it. There's another one that's like the original color. I think it's called the Living Luminizer. I kind of want to try that one out, but this one is fantastic, so I'm happy with this one. The very last thing I'm going to do now is, if I can find it, set the face with the same Prep and Set. even though there's not much to set, I still want to make sure that what I do have on my face isn't going to move around. Oh my God, I love this stuff so much. I need like 10 cans of this. I really do. I feel like it's really easy to overdo it with that because it feels so good. I'm going to put some lipstick on. This is a brand that I absolutely adore for lipsticks. It's Ilia. And this one, they just came out with this recently, and I wondered why they didn't have something like this, and then poof, there it was on Sephora, and I was like, oh, you read my mind. This is a tinted lip balm, and they have a few of them that are like that. You can really build, they can either be sheer or you can kind of really build them up. And this one is in Kamikaze, but this one has SPF in it. It doesn't tell you on the bottom of this, but I believe it's, oh yeah, it does, SPF 15. So I'm gonna put this on and then we'll be done. Oh, I love these. And they go on so smooth. And they're moisturizing, which is great. And I find that in the summer, I will definitely, you know, gravitate more towards things like this that are a colored lip balm with SPF 15. It's really light on my lips. It keeps them, you know, hydrated and moisturized and everything. And I think that that's great. Okay, so we're done. So this is the finished look. It's nothing crazy. It's just, you know, sometimes during the summer, even though I can't stand wearing makeup in the summer, sometimes I just don't, I feel like I look exhausted and tired and I really want to do something to wake my face up, but I do not want a full face of makeup. This is what I do. This is like literally it. I even surprised my fiance one day and I was like, oh, do you like my makeup today? He goes, yeah, you look really beautiful. What do you, I have no foundation on. And he just looked at me and he had to really look at my face for a minute and he was like, what, you don't have foundation on? And I'm like, no, I don't. If you can, you know, do something like this, it's gonna look like you have foundation on, because if you conceal the spots that maybe are a little red or what have you, but you don't put foundation on the rest of your face, this is what it's gonna wind up looking like, and you're just gonna look healthy and happy and glowy and beautiful and all that good stuff. So that was it for today. Short video. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. That helps me out a lot. If there's anything you'd like to see, anything you'd like me to review, anything like that, leave me comments down below. This way I can kind of, you know, cater my channel more towards what you guys want to see. And please make sure that you subscribe if you haven't already. If you are subscribed, I love you. Thank you so much for the support. And if you haven't subscribed, please do, because like I said at the end of most of my videos, it really does mean the world to me and makes my day seeing that people are subscribing to watch my videos. It lifts my heart, so I really appreciate it. So that's it for this, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!